Raymond Temple students, teachers, staff members. It is our first episode of World of Reading for the first day of school, and this year's theme will be our first book, the Arty Energy Bus. So come with me as we get on the bus. This year, we will be reading a book, and it will serve as our inspiration for the rest of the year. The Energy Bus for Kids, a story about staying positive and overcoming challenges by John Gordon, illustrated by Corey Scott. It was Monday, and Mondays were never good for George. He woke up tired and grumpy as usual. He got hooked on video games. He had watched too much television last night. He went to bed too late and had another fight with his sister, Georgette. His mom was upset because he was late for the bus and still hadn't eaten his breakfast. "It's the most important meal of the day," she said. George knew she was right, but he was too tired and had to hurry to catch the bus. As George ran to the bus stop with his heavy backpack, he could see bus number 11 pulling away. George was so upset he wanted to cry, but he didn't. He just put his head down and wondered what else could go wrong today. Luckily, as the bus driver drove away, she saw George, stopped the bus, and yelled out the window, "I wouldn't leave you. Come on, get on the bus." The bus driver wasn't his usual bus driver. George had never seen her before. She said her name was Joy, and she had the biggest smile he had ever seen. He told her his name was George and sat down in the first seat. "What's got you down? And what's with the frown?" Joy asked. "Everything is going wrong," George said. "That's okay, George. You're on my bus now. I call it the Energy Bus. Sit down and I'm going to teach you some rules that will take you on a positive ride through life." "Are you ready to learn the first rule?" Joy asked. "If you are, say yes 3 times. Yes, yes, yes." George and all the kids on the bus then shouted. Joy told the kids on the bus the first rule: create a positive vision. When you are on the bus going to school, think about having a great day. When you're on the bus going home, picture yourself having a great night. When you think about your future, imagine yourself accomplishing your goals and your dreams, said Joy. If you can see it, you can create it. If you have a vision, then you also have the power to make it happen. As George waited for class to begin, he thought about what Joy had said about creating a positive vision. He imagined himself getting an A+ on his spelling test and hitting a home run in his baseball game on Saturday. Then he remembered his teacher telling him the importance of writing down your goals and drawing pictures of them. So George took out a piece of paper, drew a picture of his spelling test with the big A+ at the top. He also drew a picture of himself hitting a home run. George knew the picture would help him remember his positive visions. So he folded his drawings and put them in his pocket. That afternoon, as George walked on the bus, Joy gave him a big smile and asked him to sit in the front seat again so they could talk. "How was school?" she asked. "Did you have a better day?" "It was a little better," answered George. "I felt happier, and I'm pretty sure I got at least an A on my spelling test, but after that I had to deal with a bunch of challenges. I tripped in the hallway while walking to class. I got hit in the face with the soccer ball and had to go to the nurse. I couldn't find my math workbook. A few of the mean kids were doing their usual mean things. Just wasn't a good day," said George. I understand, said Joy. We all face challenges in life. That's why it's so important to learn the next rule. If you want to know what it is, say yes 3 times. Yes, 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 George and everyone on the bus shouted. Rule number 2, fuel your ride with positive energy. What's positive energy? Asked George. It's the positive thoughts and emotions you think and feel and share with others, said Joy. It is smiles, laughter, gratitude, trust, faith, joy, happy thoughts, and beliefs. If you fuel up with positive energy, you will have the power to overcome challenges and achieve your goals. But what if I feel negative? Asked George. Well, that's the thing, George. You possess the greatest power in the world. It's the power to choose to be positive instead of negative. The next morning, George stepped onto the bus feeling more positive than ever. Someone is looking very happy today, Joy said, smiling at George. I feel like my tank is full of positive energy, George said with a big smile on his face. I love it, George. Make sure you keep filling your tank with positive energy throughout the day at school. And she gave him a few tips to remember. Smile big. Be thankful. And fuel yourself with positive beliefs. Then she asked George to repeat after her. I am ready for a great day. I believe in myself, and I trust that I will accomplish my goals and dreams. The energy bus pulled up to the school, and George stepped off, ready to take on the day. As he walked toward the building, he heard Joy cheer. Remember, George, if you fuel up with positive energy, you can go as far as you can dream. Dream big, George. You would think that George stepped on the bus that afternoon full of positive energy. But he didn't. Instead, he walked on the bus, looking very sad and upset. What's the matter? What happened to my positive energy guy? Joy asked. I did everything you said. I fueled up with positive energy, but that didn't stop the bullies at school from teasing me, embarrassing me, George said, with tears in his eyes. I'm sorry you have to deal with bullies, said Joy. I was bullied when I was a kid, and it feels so good. Joy then raised her voice for the entire bus to hear and said, Listen up, kids. Don't be a bully. Don't be mean. Don't be hurtful. And don't say hurtful things to others. It will take you down the negative road of life. Instead, choose to be kind and travel down the positive road. Joy then turned to George and said, Bullies are just one of the many types of negative people you will face in life. Some say negative things about you. Others feel so bad about themselves that they try to make you feel bad too. Rather than driving their own bus, they are trying to ruin everyone else's ride. That's why I want you to remember the next rule, said Joy, as she picked up a piece of paper from the dashboard and held it up for George and everyone to see. Rule number 3, no bullies allowed. This means you stay strong and positive and know that bullies can't drain your positive energy. If you don't let their negativity into your mind, negativity comes in many forms, but positivity is more powerful than negativity. The key is to become more positive than the negativity you face. I understand, George said as the energy bus approached to his bus stop. He walked off the bus, realizing he needed to be more positive than the bullies were negative. He also knew he needed a plan to neutralize the bullies and hoped Joy would have some ideas for him tomorrow. When the bullies saw George, they began teasing him, but George was ready. He stayed positive, told himself to be strong, and told them to stop bullying him. George pictured himself shutting the bus door on them and keeping them off his bus as he walked away. He could hear the teasing continue, but he didn't let it bother him. In the past, he had allowed them on his bus, but not today. Today, he kept them off his bus and felt more positive than ever. The minute the school bell rang, he ran to the bus to tell Joy, "It worked! It worked!" He cheered. "I am so happy for you," said Joy. "Positive energy is a powerful thing. And do you know what the most positive or powerful form of positive energy in the world is?" asked Joy. "I don't know," said George. "What?" "It's love. And it's so powerful that it's part of the next rule I want to share with you. Rule 4. Love your passengers. This means you become a powerful force of positive energy and share love with your passenger. "Who are my passengers?" asked George. "They are your fellow friends, teachers, siblings, families, and people you interact with every day. Love everybody, George. Be kind. Help others. Make a difference." That night, George spent to a girl that everyone teased and made her smile. He helped a boy who dropped his book in the hallway. George was so kind and positive that the bullies stayed away from him, and he was surrounded by other positive kids. When George walked on the bus that afternoon with a big smile on his face, he told Joy that he knew the next rule of the energy bus. "What's that, George?" she asked. "It's to enjoy the ride," he said. He learned that when you follow the energy bus rules, you will enjoy the ride a whole lot more. Rule 5. Enjoy the ride. George then pulled out a picture he had made in art class and gave it to Joy. She looked at the picture and smiled. It was a picture that listed the 5 rules of the energy bus. Rule 1, create a positive vision. Rule 2, fuel your ride with positive energy. Rule 3, no bullies allowed. Rule 4, love your passengers. And Rule 5, enjoy the ride. I hope you enjoyed our RT Get on the Energy Bus book, our first book that we are reading in World of Reading. I want to invite every one of you to join the RT Energy Bus. Your teacher will be handing you your ticket, but we ask that you only hand in your ticket if you're on board to follow the 5 rules. Your teachers and everyone here at Raymond Temple has also signed their ticket because we are on board as well to follow the 5 rules to living and learning in a positive environment. Last, you may notice that your teachers have our welcome back button. In this button, I have our license plate. I like to pose a challenge to all our scholars. If you can figure out what this license plate says, please come see me for a prize. And if you can't see the license plate because it's so tiny, our energy bus will have the license plate as well. And you will all be able to see our energy bus as you walk to lunch. So, to end our first World of Reading episode, and to introduce our 5 rules for a positive energy here at Raymond Temple, we're going to end with a song today that we plan on redoing for our second school-wide video. So join me and get on the bus. Bye-bye.
Let's get on the bus. It's time to go.